Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video. And with this one, I am bringing my Shadowlands 9.2 top 10 arena comps. There is a ton of changes coming into patch 9.2, and there has been a substantial amount of testing done in the PvP scene. We're going to be seeing the introduction of solo queue and the possibilities of it moving forward with the Brawl solo shuffle. We are seeing set bonuses, we are seeing powerful double legendary combinations, and stats are just going up through the roof, as well as a huge amount of class buffs and nerfs that could possibly mix things up or just enhance existing meta compositions. The purpose of this list is to allow you to see what are some good options moving into the next patch to maybe set yourself up with a team moving forward. So right on day one, you're ready to rock and roll, and maybe open up your eyes to some possibilities of new classes or specs having an opportunity to rise to check out and bring into the fold. So without further ado, let's get started here. Coming in at the number 10 position is going to be Turbo Cleave. One of the biggest changes for this composition that could increase its popularity, increase its viability, is that Enhancement Shaman is receiving sweeping buffs to its sustained damage. It's receiving mana reduction costs to its spells, so it's possibly going to be able to heal more, or even maybe go back to the Shamanism Honor talent for Bloodlust. But basically, all eyes on the Enhancement Shaman. There's going to be powerful bonuses to reducing their Chain Harvest cooldown as the Venthyr Covenant, so they're going to be dumping out even fatter burst windows, bigger heals, chunkier sustained damage. Enhance has some very high possibilities of being powerful, especially in the Turbo Cleave composition. Paired up with an Arms Warrior, if running Kyrian, will have access to the Spear Legendary as well as Unhinged for massive damage in those Spear combos. And of course, I've got Resto Druid listed here as likely the best healer overall, just with massive throughput. They received the most amount of buffs with healing and damage, and I would likely expect them to be Necrolord in this composition with nerfs to the Kyrian Covenant for Kindred Spirits. I think Resto Druid was actually hit the hardest with this bonus because it already lost a lot leaving the Necrolord. But as Necrolord Resto Druid, you're going to have access to Adaptive Swarm, just spreading to targets, giving you more purge protection, giving you more healing per second. Your set bonuses are providing you more heal over time effects, so this composition could be deadly. I've got some secondary healers as the Discipline Priest and the Holy Paladin as backup. Holy Paladin has some opportunities here with the Necrolord Covenant, but I think their mana is likely to hold them back, which is why I've listed it as the third option. But Turbo comes in at number 10, and it had such a spectacular description to it. What else could really follow on this list, really? We've still got 9 more compositions to go. Coming in at number 9 is going to be the Demon Hunter Death Knight. So Demon Hunters are getting even more powerful in patch 9.2 by being able to get their Fodder to the Flame legendary. They're going to be getting even longer durations of increased damage from picking up the demon soul of that demon. And the main reason I think this composition is going to be powerful is because they are all just so tanky and unkillable. How are you going to kill a Resto Druid? How are you going to kill a DK? How are you going to kill a Demon Hunter? They're going to be having so much healing output and sustainability in this patch, with a massive amount of burst damage now due to Abomination Limb being buffed just out the wazoo, being able to access more legendary combinations to get more sustained damage is going to really open up this composition to have more opportunities. It's coming in at the bottom of the list because Death Knights haven't had the best track record overall, but this may be the one patch where you would want to try and give it a go. And I've got Unholy as a secondary here. Frost would be for big AoE set bonuses, and Unholy would be just for single target sustained damage. If you're running Frost, you might want to mix in the Cosmic Grenade trinket that's coming forward, which is going to throw a grenade on the ground. You can death grip targets together, blind them, stun them, and then just explode the world. These kind of wombo combos could be a really cool option of play that you may not be considering right now. And of course, I've listed the Resto Druid as the best healer, just the highest output, got the biggest buffs. I've already explained that. Resto Shaman as a good follow-up healer because it's going to fit well with Spam Purge, being aggressive, disruptive with interrupts and grounding, and making a lot of classes in the game very miserable. So it's definitely a good secondary healer, I think, for this composition. Moving into the number 8 position, we are going to be looking at TSG for very similar reasons to the Demon Hunter Death Knight, the Cosmic Grenade, the Kyrian Spear, pinning targets down with the AoE grip, massive cleave damage. Like, I could see this comp just absolutely comboing people out of the universe. Just grip everything together, Spirit, Unhinged Blade Storm, rock and roll. Everything is cleaved down, blender machine. You're making some protein arena smoothies out of your opponents with this composition. This could be really the patch, likely the best comp for the Death Knight. I think it is in the current patch, and moving forward, it will be even better. Again, putting it lower on the list here just because Death Knight hasn't had the best track record, but I think that you do want to consider the possibilities of this composition. I think Resto Druid is likely to be the best healer. Just going to keep them sturdy, keep them stable, access to the Ursul's Vortex as an extra pin moment on top of everything else that they have to pin, and because the Druid has high mobility to get to enemy healers, CC them on the goes that you're doing with Death Grip and Spear of Bastion. So I think that it will likely be a powerful combo. You may want to try Kyrian Resto Druid with this composition to empower the Death Knight as Necrolord. It may provide a substantial amount of damage with how many buffs they're getting. I've got Unholy as a secondary follow-up if you want to try and be more single target oriented, but I think it would be more potent with Frost in this specific composition. Number 7, we're going to be looking at the Demo Wizards, and unfortunately Demonology I don't think is going down from where I've been ranking it, but the specs that it's been playing with got nerfed a lot in this recent build. So the wizard options, I've given a few here, with Shadow being likely the best. I think having Psyfiend, having the Megalomania, just double Void Form builds from the Shadow Priest is going to be your most threatening option as a spell cleave, with Resto Druid Healer or Holy Priest for more aggression. With the stuns that Holy Priest is going to be bringing from range, it's going to allow you to nuke down targets, but Resto Druid probably safer as a pick overall. I think Frost Mage, which was one of the best comps for Demonology, may fall down as it's been nerfed, and maybe is going to get nerfed even more because it's so powerful in Mythic Plus, and we have yet to see any sort of PvP counteractions to those nerfs. Ellie Shaman with Vesper Totem could be a good option as well with this. With Demonology able to Demon Bolt crit 80k, Vesper Totem 80k, you might be getting some really big one-shots on that Wizard Cleave composition, but I think Shadow is likely to be more of the sustainable one as an option, the safe pick. So Ellie more risky, Shadow more sustainable. Frost is on the list just because it has been so potent in the past, but because it's being targeted so much, it might fall off a bit here. But this type of composition could absolutely dominate due to its track record. It comes in a little bit lower due to the fact that these specs, even Shadow, received some nerfs in the most recent round. It's kind of coming lower for me right now. There still could be more changes. And again, if you want to stay up to date with those changes, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Absolutely free. And all those patch updates are just going to come to you live in real time through the power of my grumbling voice. But coming in at the number 6 position is going to be Kitty Cleave. And even though the Kindred Spirits is being nerfed here, I think it's still going to be a great option for the Feral Druid in this composition, especially if you're able to get a Necrolord Warrior. Although Warriors maybe not wanting to stay Necrolord, I think in this comp specifically you will, with being able to run Drought as a Feral Druid or switch in a Barkskin Legendary against RMP. You're going to be able to make yourself very durable, disruptive, and provide a lot of utility. I think the Kitty Cleave composition, just running down healers, is still going to be able to do that even with the nerfs again to the Kindred Spirits, because you're going to be able to pick up a second damage legendary as the Feral Druid. I got Disc Priest as the best healer, tied with Resto Druid, even though you're stacking Druids. I've seen that a lot in the current patch, and with how good Druid is, probably still not even that bad of an option to stack it. Holy Priest is secondary, Mistweaver is a third, Holy Paladin as kind of a 4-string pick here for the Kitty, but this is just a healer killer. Get in there, kill the healer, get the work done. It's very tanky overall, high synergies between the specs. So, and it's going to provide a lot of utility to the Disc Priest. Going to be a great Disc Priest composition in my mind. Disc Priest probably falling into a melee cleave type of style with hybrids in this patch, with Holy Priest probably taking the reins with RMP. But Kitty has a good track record. I think it's going to be even more powerful now in 9.2, so it comes in at number 6. If you want an easy to play healer running killer comp, then this is the one for you as well. Coming in at number 5, we've got the RPS, and I've included the WPS. You really can't, as well as RPD. So Assassination is going to be doing a lot of single target damage. It's going to be doing just a lot of damage in general. Pairing that up with a Shadow Priest, Psyfiend, Hemotoxin, you're going to be reducing healing by a truckload. Same goes for the Warrior variant here with Sharpened Blade. It's just going to be doing a lot of damage. I was struggling whether or not I wanted to say Druid was better than Shaman specifically with this. I think it is really comp dependent on what you're queuing into. Shaman, I think, is likely probably better into things like Rogue Mage, and Druid is going to be better into melee cleave options. And based on the rest of my list, you'll see why I couldn't really decide which healer was the best. So kind of pick what's suited to you, maybe what you can find. It's probably more equal than you would expect. But this composition is looking really good, coming in at the number 5 position. Moving forward for number 4, we've got the Jungle Cleave. Did you really think that this comp wasn't going to make the top 10 list here for 9.2? But Survival is also included here on the list. I think Survival with the Wildfire Bomb builds and the set bonuses is going to be doing a lot of damage. Definitely want to take it as a serious contender. If you were going to run the Survival build, I would maybe even consider running Disc Priest to just pump out massive damage. Or a Resto Druid for safe picks into dampening. Beast Mastery Hunter, I included as just the standard pick with the Holy Priest and the Feral Druid. Likely Night Fae Priests here to regenerate mana. I was curious to see if running a Kindred Spirits Feral with a Necro Hunter would be a viable option here to enhance their versatility, even though it's been nerfed, just as an option with something like Survival Hunter for even more insane burst damage during those trap windows. But this composition is just getting tankier and more damage output because the Feral and Hunter can now wear damage legendary plus tanky legendary, so they're gonna be able to get to those deep dampening stages with their Night Fae Priest or Resto Druid backing them up, which is going to provide them a lot of sustained gameplay, really improving what was already their major strengths in the current patch. And they're coming in at the number 4 position. Number 3, we got Boomy DH. Did you think it was dead? Did you think the king was finally dethroned? I don't think so. Coming in at number 3 here, I think that Boomy is still pumping out a tremendous amount of damage, even despite the Kyrian nerfs. You're still probably going to play Kyrian because the other options are just not options. Convoke the Spirits is going to hit too many pets. Necrolord doesn't do enough sustained damage to justify it, and Venthyr is getting targeted by PvE nerfs, and because it's such a long cooldown, it just doesn't work very well in a PvP scenario. So you're still stuck with it, but picking up a Necrolord Demon Hunter that's going to be doing more damage due to their own bonuses they're getting is more than going to compensate for the minor amount of reduction to versatility on the Kindred Spirits here. Still huge burst damage. Their set bonuses for Boomy synergize well with the Root Beam, In-Cap, Cyclone CC chain. Dump 20 Star Surges now instead of 2 during that CC chain, and I've included Shaman and Druid as healer options here. Druid's going to be a little bit more tankier dampening style. Shaman's going to be more disruptive. Again, I think Shaman probably better into RMP, Druid better into the melee cleave options if you're depending on which one you wanted to pick and what you wanted to push. But this, I don't think this comp's going anywhere. It's even though you're losing the damage there, you're getting it back in other places, and it synergized really well into how the composition even played in 9.1.5, moving into 9.2. Coming in at the number 2 position, Ret Warrior, another composition. Did you think it was dead? No, it's probably not. Necrolord Rets are getting even better. The Kyrian Warriors are getting even better. And I do wonder if there will be any kind of cheeky builds with Resto Shamans in this option, with the Chain Heal from your totems, potentially being able to run the Honor talent, so if Chain Heal crits, it dispels. I've not seen any Shamans test this yet, but if the Chain Heal from those totems gains the benefits of the Honor talents, you might be able to just remove all crowd control from your team just by dropping totems on the ground to bounce out chain heals and dispel things off of your allies. So I do wonder if that's going to be a viable option for them. Druid will be a better healer into the cleaves. Shaman will be better into RMP. And Disc Priest could be a really good option just for overall sustained damage and pressure. If you want to just kind of run people over, Disc Priest could be a good pick for this comp as well. But basically, it's just Ret Warrior stocks are going up, and it's already a solid composition right now in the current game, and it's just getting better. Nothing about it is really getting worse. Moving into the number 1 position, what's going to be the number 1 arena comp here for Shadowlands patch 9.2? It is going to be none other than our favorite, the composition that could just survive anything really and still make it out in one piece. It is the Rogue Mage Priest. Specifically, the Subtlety, Fire Mage, and Holy Priest I would consider to be the most powerful. But again, Resto Druid is so strong in this patch, you could pick it up. Disc Priest could be as good as well. Should have included Assassination along sub here with Disc Priest for just kind of massive pressure RMP. But I think the control option is going to be the best. Setting up with Chastise Fear on 1 target, DB Sheep 1 target, stun 1 target and kill it, blast them out of the game, rinse, repeat, get out of there. The set bonuses are working well for all of these specs. Fire Mage is going to have access to damage legendaries as well as tanky legendaries. Subtlety Rogues are already impossible to kill. They're going to be playing Kyrian, Anima charging, massive combo points for insane eviscerate damage. This composition is going to be even more deadly now moving into patch 9.2. So if you've polished up your skills in 9.1.5 on these types of compositions coming in 1, 2, 3 position, you're going to be a monster moving into patch 9.2. But other than that, thank you very much for watching the video. If you'd like to tune into other news and updates, patch changes, and guides and primers for classes here on the channel, again, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will have those videos linked here at the end of the video. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next video.